Thank you so very much for joining us this afternoon on the John Mayaki Show. We want to appreciate your support so far. If you're joining us this afternoon, this is the John Mayaki Show. We're glad to have you on the show. Treating people the way we would like to be treated imposes a moral burden on all of us. To put ourselves in the other person's shoe before we can act, we need to think twice. This is the very definition of empathy. This is the very definition of empathy. Treat your neighbor as yourself. Treat your neighbor as yourself. And so, this afternoon, oh no. So this afternoon, we're going to be treating this topic on this show, empathy. Empathy. This afternoon, we are discussing empathy. The pro-Osinbajo group, Democratic Reformers, have said that the Vice President exemplifies love and empathy. And that this, they have decided to show to the family of late Hanifa Abubakar in Kano. According to them, they said they identify with them, that is the Hanifa's family, during their difficult period. And so they've sent a delegation. We saw the picture of the delegation they sent to Kano, where we just received the picture of those who visited them in Kano. We understand Mrs. Tawa, Mrs. Aisha, and Mrs. Joy Kundayo were right there in Hanifa's family house in Kano. They visited them. Yeah, that is the picture there. That is the Osinbajo support group called the Democratic Reformers. That you can see them there. They visited this very woman today to pay their condolence. They feel that their role model and presidential, the very person they are supporting for the office of the president come 2023 is Professor Osinbajo. They feel that Professor Osinbajo is one person who knows that leadership must go beyond rhetoric, and that leadership must lead and not follow. No, leadership must lead. And so they went there, right there, to pay condolence to this very family. According to the group's national coordinator, they see Professor Osinbajo as a practitioner of empathy, and that being a practitioner of empathy and their role model, it is their own responsibility to build bridges and to seek for common ground as basis for national progress. That is quite interesting. Today, we are being joined on the John Mayaki Show by Comrade Idris Zakari. Comrade Idris Zakari is the national coordinator of the Democratic Reformers. Welcome to the show, Comrade.
Thank you, Mr. John. It's always a delight, a pleasure to be here as always. Thank you for having me this afternoon.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Can you please tell us what you don't know, what we don't know about your support group? What is it about, your support group?
The Democratic Reformers is a child of necessity. By that I mean we are a keen look at the political sphere as we approach the 2023 general elections, and we have thought it wise that if we fold our arms and allow things to go the way they are going right now, we will continue to repeat the same cycle of stagnation, or what I will call gerontocratic leadership that we have had over time. So we decided that this time around we can no longer fold our hands. We have to participate in the democratic process and make sure that we are part and parcel of this process that will deliver the next president of the Federal Republic. And in participating in this process, we ensure that we took a keen look at all the persons who are either expressing interest or are being touted to run for the office of president. And we came to the inevitable conclusion that as at this material time, as at this time in our national life, the only person who can give us what we want in leadership, or the kind of leadership we want, the kind of dynamism we want in leadership, would only be offered to us as at this material time in Nigeria by no other person but a professor a pastor, and an erudite lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the present Vice President of Nigeria. Of course, there are a lot of ways we can assess him and see if he qualifies and if he meets this bill of being the President of the Federal Republic. So we took our study was across board, but there's this not too young to run movement. There's this end SARS movement. So we took into cognizance even the younger generation, and we took into cognizance the older generation. We took into cognizance the mid-level generation, and you see, for the balance of it all, we just have to stick with Professor Yemi Osinbajo. That is the sole purpose, as at this material time, of the democratic reformers, and that is what a lot of people may not have known about democratic reformers. We are not more quote and unquote a member of any political party yet, but we have decided to pressure the vice president, whether he believes it or not. We are not asking him to run for himself. We are asking him to run for Nigerians, whether he likes it or not. It's not. Some people who have told me that what if he's not interested in being the president? He does not need to be interested. We have gotten to a stage in Nigeria where we must go and source for the best and make sure that only the best occupy position.
Assuming the best doesn't have the capacity, the financial wherewithal to run for the election, what happens?
Well, it has been proven over time that money is not everything. It has become a cliche that money is not everything, and there are facts to prove it. In 2015, when Muhammadu Buhari contested the primaries of the newborn baby APC, then the newborn political party, he had not much. I think he was said to have just 150 cattle in his farm in Daura. And when he contested, Nigerians as at then wanted a balance in the political space, wanted a balance in our national space, and Nigerians supported him. So when Nigeria supported, he got the ticket. There were others who had more money. We had a certain Atiku Abubakar who was very wealthy, and of course he didn't get the support, and that was it. So it's no longer about how much you have in the bank. It's about what the people want, how they want it, when they want it. And in this country today, the only person that we can say is a man that does not have baggages, is a man that is not coming from. He cuts across board. He does not have anything that is holding him back. Whether you talk spiritually, whether you talk physically, whether you talk academically, whether you talk in terms of age, in terms of health, he's there. So that's why we have decided that we are going to stick with him, whether he likes it or not.
But some other persons, I'm not sure. Today is about your visit to the Hanifa's family. But let me quickly ask you. Yes. Some other persons say his godfather will be running, and so he shouldn't run. Have you heard that?
Well, that's the people's business, and that's the business between him and his godfather. We were not there when they discussed. All we know, as at this material time, is that we have a man in Professor Yemi Osinbajo who is qualified, eminently qualified, who has the requisite skills, the requisite qualification, who has the requisite stamina to withstand the rigors of the office of president. It's not this time around that we are going to be having the president who are shuttling all over the world trying to fix their health. Nigeria is in a precarious situation. And in fairness to the present administration, they've done their best. The Buhari administration has been able to stabilize the polity. We now need somebody who can build on that and make progress with this country. So it has little to do with a discussion between two men. We are talking of the destinies of 220 million Nigerians. So the discussion between two gentlemen in their bed will not suffice at the end of the day. And that's our argument, that we will not stick with the status quo and say, because of maybe the ambition of one person or the other, we are going to jettison that which is beneficial to the country, that which is for the best, for the betterment, and for the good of the country.
Does it amount? Do you see it amounting to disloyalty? Do you see it amounting to disloyalty to the leader if he goes ahead and contests the election? Although he hasn't said he's going to contest, do you see a situation where the people say, you are disloyal to the leader, why your leader is contesting, you should step down? Do you reason that way?
Well, I don't. When we say disloyalty to the leader? Was there a place where was there any bond? Was there any formal legal document, whether formally or informally, signed by Professor Osinbajo and any other person, as a matter of fact, whether he should run or not? I don't think there's any. It does not exist. As at this material time in Nigeria, everybody is constitutionally empowered. I cannot contest, for example, because I've not got into the age bracket. I think he's 40 for president. The vice president, Osinbajo, is qualified by age, by health, by nationality, and by the constitution, supremely speaking. The constitution is the grand norm of the Federal Republic, is qualified by the constitution to run for president. So any other parochial and ethnic and chauvinistic sentiment flies in the face of it. If a man is qualified, why don't you let him run? He should run and let Nigerians decide. That is the beauty of democracy. At the end of the day, the minority will have their say, while the majority will have their way. So that's where we are at. So it has no, when they say disloyalty to the leader, I don't see, look, there is no one person on earth today who was not helped by another person. It is a fallacy to say you are a self-made man. There is no self-made man. But that somebody has supported you in time past, does that take away your fundamental human rights? Does that take away your constitutionally guaranteed right to seek the office of president? The answer is no.
Wonderful. The lines out there, published on the screen. If you're watching us, feel free, call us and share your thoughts with us on this very discussion. And so, Comrade Idris, I understand you are the national coordinator of Democratic Reformers. Your group is a support group of the vice president, like you said.
Absolutely.
Yes. What brought up the idea of visiting the Hanifa's family in Kano today?
When you have a father or you have a leader, you must study the character and the fundamentals of that person. I and my organization, we have studied the vice president, and we have come to the conclusion, and it's easy to see, that the vice president is an empathetic leader. Empathetic meaning he knows how to identify with the pains of the people. He knows how to identify with the situation of people. He comes from an erudite background. One would expect that he will be the bourgeoisie. He will live he will be those who are disconnected from the Hoipolois, from Talakawas, from the poorest of the poor. But he has shown over time that he identifies with the minutest, with the littlest man in society. I can give you vivid examples, even before now. You remember when the Empower program was domiciled in the office of the vice president, that was when it had the biggest effect in the life of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians, 500,000 of them at that time, benefited from the Empower. You also had the trader money.
We'll come there.
They were giving 10,000.
Sorry, yes, we'll come there. Okay, go ahead. I thought.
I'm just trying to set a background.
Okay.
That we have a man in the vice president who identifies with the pains of the people, who knows how it feels. Now, this Hanifa family, unfortunately, has the beautiful baby girl, young girl, has fallen into the hands of a killer who is supposed to be a protector, someone who is supposed to be a caregiver. So this little girl became the person who took the life of this young girl. And the nation is outraged. We are outraged. Everybody is outraged. We want justice done. And because the vice president is the kind of president that identifies with people, we have no choice but to also identify with this family in this moment of grief. They are grieving. It's a sad situation. So as part of that, we reached out to some of our members in Kano today, and then we asked them to send a condolence letter to the Hanifa family. We sent a letter to them, and we hope that as we put them in our prayers, they'll be able to go through this difficult time, and God will see through for them.
Okay, let me pick this call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Speak up. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Edo State.
From where? Edo State. Your name and where you calling from? Speak up.
You said?
You need to speak up. Speak up. Let's hear you better. Okay. Now you sent in your condolences to the family. What was your message? Let's see the picture of those people who visited Tawa, Aisha, and
Mrs. Joy Kundai.
okay, Mrs. Joy Kundai. Those are your members in Kano. What was your message?
Yes.
Yeah. What was your message to the family?
Although there's no polite way to put a condolence message, it's not always easy to send a condolence message because anyone who has lost somebody is obviously in pains. But we try to convince the family in our letter that it is not the end of the world, that they should be proud of the girl Hanifa. Hanifa today has become a rallying point for all those caregivers who take advantage of their position of trust to abuse and to murder those who have been put in their custody.
Sorry.
So Hanifa is a national hero.
I'll be back to you, sir. Okay. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Edo State.
Edo State. Your name, please.
Yeah, I'm Obiyan, London.
Okay, your contribution, sir.
Yeah, my contribution is in respect of these very issues going on, and in respect of Osinbajo. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes. As you speak to us, where you are watching us from, go away from it, so that it doesn't affect your call.
Okay, I've adjusted it. So I'm calling from Edo State. So I speak in respect of Osinbajo. The fact is, he's a brilliant man. The fact is, when we are putting anybody in this governmental system, we should know that.
Yes.
We should know that our future is at stake. In the sense that putting an old man of 70 years that has analog brain, we condemn this country. We all should, in respect of that guy's statement, we should clamor for Osinbajo if time comes. Because issue of Godfather is a leadership scheme that how will the leader feel. I don't think it is something. I don't just think in something at all. Because every man in this life is liable to help each other. Because before a man should grow up to this extent, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before a man should grow up to this extent, you must have one or two ways that a person should use your assistance. You can't just move on to say you are the Alpha and the Omega. Somebody must help you in terms of Tinubu as a matter. Somebody help him to that stage. He don't just grow up like this and say, I'm not the national leader of anything. We should think wise and make things better for Nigeria. The way this country is now, me especially, I don't like it because the country is moving backward. Is they using an analog person to solve the digital problem? I don't know if you understand. Let's trace this issue from the back. You understand? The one that we have before, we should look at the positive and the negative side of the former president and use this very one to correct it. Because the problem we are using analog brain to solve digital problems. I don't know if you understand.
Thank you so much.
Please, this is just my few suggestions for now. Maybe in terms I'm watching, I can still call back to air all my view because I'm a bit angry, if I should say angry, because the situation of this country is dying. He's on the sick bed. Let me use that statement. He's on the sick bed. He's looking for rescue. Let's call for the Vambrat Nodma to come and rescue this country. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayaki.
Well,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I want to believe that there is no comparison. This show is not a comparison between the vice president and any other person. We invited the national coordinator of democratic reformers to tell us what about their visit to Hanifa's family in Kano and to tell us what exactly prompted that. And he told us that the vice president, who is an empathetic leader, is their own mirror, and that is why they have decided to pay Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Jeremiah King.
Thank you. Your name and where you calling from?
Yes, I am Mr. Gio King.
Okay.
Currently, I'm calling from Bayelsa State.
Okay.
Yes, I must commend you, Mr. Jeremiah King, for your wonderful shows.
Thank you.
It's a very interesting program. Keep it up, please, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, and to your guest, Comrade Idris.
Yeah.
Honestly, he has spoken my mind. I want to add to his voice by saying that Vice President Professor Osinbajo had his constitutional right to contest for the election. The national president of the All Progressive Congress should, for the sake of the country, allow Professor Osinbajo to contest and become the next president of Nigeria. Because one, he is physically fit for that position. Mr. Jeremiah, if I can take your mind back to years back when the president always traveled of the country, you could observe that Professor Osinbajo has impacted positively in the life of the youth and for the sake of the country. He has played his role perfectly well. He has represented the country in so many occasions within and outside the country. So I am of the opinion that and just like your guest said, God for that reason, if a good father, what you should do, you should pray for your children to even be more better than you. So if the national leader of the All Progressive Party have the interest of the country at heart, let him step down for the president to contest for the post and become the president of Nigeria. I don't know why the vice president is taking time to declare interest. Because the way it stands now, we might declare interest for him.
Thank you so very much.
If the vice president is not declared interest, we will declare, let him come up and tell the Nigerians that he's content. I will give him our support. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Now, thank you so very much. People are urging the vice president to immediately declare. Otherwise, they will go to court. That is serious. Comrade, I want to believe that in the APC, the party is yet, I understand they are yet to zone their positions for 2023. And people are agitating should come to the south and all of those. Can you paint the picture of the president you want in 2023?
Yes, in 2023, it's time we move away from where we have been. Like you rightly pointed out, I am not here to demarcate any candidate. Everybody who has, shown interest in being president is eminently qualified. Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is eminently qualified. But when you have a lot of qualified persons, you have to make a choice as to which one is best for the nation as at this material time. The kind of president we should be looking at having in 2023 is somebody who is, first of all, an erudite scholar who understands the way things work. Like one of the callers stated, you cannot be using analog mentality to solve digital problems. That's the fact of it. And as long as, look, in fairness to the Buhari administration has shown that honesty alone is not enough to move a nation forward. Nobody can accuse the Buhari administration of not being honest or of not having the best intentions for this country. But beyond those honesty and those good intentions, you also need the brains to work in a society. You need the brains to reach out to outside world, to reach out to the Western world, to reach out to foreign partners, to negotiate this country out of the situation it is right now. So that is the kind of person we are looking at in the person of Professor Osinbajo. Anything the man touches turns to gold. As soon as it gets out of his hands, it begins to have issues. Some people, I'm reading some of the comments that he has not done anything. If you were in this country in 2015, 2016, when Empower was domiciled in the office of the vice president, you would have seen the obvious impact of Empower in the lives of ordinary Nigerians. For the first time, the school feeding program, children will now go to school and have a meal to eat in school. The Empower 30,000 naira for 500,000 youth, people who previously had no hope, They had hope. They were going to work. They were being paid. I did it for 2 years. I can tell you that. For if I didn't know anybody, I didn't have any godfather. So when some of us wake up and we are taking interest in politics, it's because we have seen that some people manage resources better than others. And it's not because those other people are not honest. It is because they usually do not have the intellectual capacity, the intellectual base, the foundational base to manage, the economy and resources. Professor Yemi is like, I don't know how to put it, it's like 1 out of a million of potential leaders of this country who has distinguished himself. You just look at the man. The man is not even pushing as much as those of us who are supporting him to be president. He has not said anything. We are the ones insisting that vice president, whether you like it or not, you must run for president. Because you are already there in the corridors of power. You understand the issues. You understand the challenges. You knew some of the issues in the Buhari administration. And we believe that with your own presidency, you can fix those issues. That's why we are pushing for him. But as for him, if you let him, he might not even want to push it further. But we are going to push him. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're having this engagement. And that's why we keep reaching out. And that's why we keep talking. And that's why we keep doing what we know the vice president would do if he was the one in our shoes, if he was the one in charge, completely in charge. He's the VP. VP, we all know in Nigeria, is not completely in charge. But within the scope of his office, he has done so much. You can't accuse him of corruption. You can't accuse him of embezzlement. You can't accuse him of squandermania. You can't accuse him of not knowing how things work. You can't accuse him of not having the intellectual capacity to make things work. So that is what we're looking at in Nigeria. We must depart from this part of always going to the left and now start going a bit to the right. Look, it's time for progress. This country must move forward. This country, we have no choice. We have nowhere else to go. Most of these leaders that you are pushing for, that you think they can do one, they have passport. Once it happens today, they take private jet and they are out of the country. So those of us that are here, we must do everything within our powers to make sure that this country makes progress. And 2023, it will be a turning point in this country. Either we want to go back to where we are coming from, or we want to start heading towards the promised land. We may not get to the promised land immediately, but we must be on our way. Look, even the Bible says, strive for perfection. So we must begin to strive. It's in the striving that the blessing is. And that's why we are pushing the VP to run for president.
Somebody is saying Nigerian politics is beyond being a scholar. And I'm sure you also know that you need the structure, the political structure, to be able to win a major election like the presidential election. You need the structure of the party. They need each other. What are you guys doing to make sure you do not clash with the supporters? You say what?
Somebody is saying that politics is beyond being a scholar. I agree. So is politics about being a thief, or about being somebody who is having questionable character? No, of course, it's not about that. It's about the best. And as of today, Professor Yemi is the best of the best. There are other best, but it's the best of the best.
I want you to understand that all the aspirants in the APC need each other to be able to make it in the general elections.
Yes. As of today, we all need... More importantly, we all need Nigerians. So that's why I will never join those who are maligning the person of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu has done so much. She has made a lot of persons, including the vice president that we are talking about now. Speaking politically, because the vice president has his academic side and he has his political side. His academic side is purely out of his own genius. It's not Tinubu that made him a senior advocate of Nigeria. It was because he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. That is why it was useful to Tinubu as Attorney General. So as a scholar, as an intellectual, he has already made his mark. That is a product of his own genius. Politically speaking, Tinubu, being the master discoverer of talent that he is, discovered this talent and brought him into government. And he helped, his record has it, that he helped to stabilize the Tinubu government and achieved a lot of things here in Lagos, speaking legally. And now Tinubu still saw it in him and supported him to be vice president to Buhari. And now he has been vice president, again performed excellently. So what is now stopping him from being president? Yes, we have other candidates.
Somebody is asking you from the comment section that he doesn't have a mind of his own and that he cannot take decision for himself. I do not know what it means. Is it that politically or in government? If he becomes president,
I will only give no. So the reason, one of the reasons of having discussions like this is to educate the public.
Yeah.
So when somebody makes this comment like the VP Osinbajo does not have a mind of his own, you only need to look at the facts. There was a time Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari was sick. He was in London for some time attending to his health. And then we had a DSS Director General who was running wild. Not just a DSS Director General, a DSS Director General from the village of the president. And Professor Yemi Osinbajo, having seen the behavior of this man, sacked him, removed him from office as acting president. And when the president came, there was no reversal. So a man who does not have a mind of his own will not do that. There was a problem. There was an allegation of using 120 million to cut grass leveled against the secretary to the government of the federation, then secretary to the government of the federation, Babachi Lawal. When Osinbajo was acting president, he removed him from office. So a man who does not have a mind of his own, will he remove the third most important person in government? If you don't know, in case for those who don't know, the secretary of the state government is the third most important person in the executive arm of government. The president, the vice president, the secretary to the state government, and the chief of staff to the president. These are the four principal officers in the executive arm of government. So a man who removes the person who is directly below him in hierarchy in the executive, is that a man who does not have a mind of his own? Please, those people should not bother coming up with those kind of petty sentiments. We should discuss more serious issue on policy and politics and the economy of Nigeria.
Thousands of Nigerian social media users could not hide their excitement when the vice president was seen in a viral picture the other day holding an umbrella to protect himself and others around him. I'm sure you will see the picture of him holding the umbrella and protecting himself. He was under the weather. The picture lit up the entire social media space, and with several Twitter and Facebook users. You saw that picture there now. People feel with excitement that the vice president display humility despite his retinue of aides around him, security details who could do that for him. More pictures also emerged depicting the vice president at various occasions holding his own umbrella. This again started the discussion around humility, a rare thing among politicians around, especially here in Nigeria. Someone said Osinbajo is a rare breed among Nigerian politicians. Even some not too influential persons will not allow their bodyguards or police officers attached to them to hold umbrella or bags for them. Osinbajo is one Nigerian politician with unmatched humility. Do you agree with that?
It's easy to see. If not for the sake of electioneering, Professor Yemi Osinbajo is not the type you can categorize as a traditional politician. He's a lot different from the usual we have known and we have always known. The man is open. The man is exposed. The man is refined. The man is refined. He's refined. He's crystal. I'm not saying he's perfect. There's no perfect person. But when you look at look at those who are running. Are you going to talk of Saraki? Are you going to talk of Atiku? Are you going to talk of even within the APC? Are you going to talk of what Jews or Kalu? Somebody who was just in Kirikiri a few time ago. I am reserving my comment on Asiwaju because Asiwaju has been a father to all. But look at those other characters. I mean, how do you explain it? How do you explain it? You have a man who is crystal, who is obeying, who is developed, who is enlightened, and he acts as such. He behaves as such. He does not act like your typical politician. He's not the one who, when you put 100 million in the contract, he will inflate it and collect money from both sides. That's not the kind of man we are talking about. We are talking about somebody who has the fear of God, who is not pretending about it, who is not an accidental man of God, who has grown through the ranks to become a regional pastor in the church, who has established churches, who has the fear of God. So these are the things we are looking at. It's not just about talking and making. And some people want to intimidate some of us by saying, the person you are supporting does not have the structure and all of that and all of that. Nigerians are the structure. At the end of the day, it's going to be one man, one vote. Okay. At the end of the day, it is going to be one man, one vote. So if you like, have all the structures in the world. If the people are not with you, they are not with you. We have seen it severally. So people don't learn. That's the problem. People just see people as big as they are. They say, they have all of it. You think it's money, you think it's structure. At the end of it, it's going to be one man, one. We go to the poll and cast your vote. Even in the primaries, you go to the primaries and cast your vote.
I'm sure you know some of these guys on social media, the Sorosoke generation. A lot of them don't have voters card. I'm sure you know that. And that it is the structure of the... You must contest from a political party. And that is what I mean by structure. I don't know what you guys are going to do to make sure that the election or the electionary process is rancor-free, especially in your party or whatever party it is, between the vice president and some other guys contesting in his party. What do you think is possible? If you are in his shoe, if you are in the vice president's shoe, being that you have a godfather, or not a godfather per se, as a leader, you have a leader. You have a leader who, not godfather, a leader who has brought you up politically, gave you all the opportunities to climb. What will you do? What will you do if you are in his shoe?
Well, like you said, we all need leaders. We are going to be exposed to leadership at various levels, and even the Bola Tinubu, because I like mentioning names, that you are saying the leader of the vice president was led. There are rumors that he was trained by somebody who was not even his biological mother, a very influential woman in Lagos, Mogaji, who brought him up, who taught him the ropes of leadership. I mean, tomorrow, if Mogaji was alive today, Mogaji will not tell Tinubu not to achieve what he is meant to achieve in life. The dream of every leader is that those who is leading will become greater than him. The same with every father. So when people say Godfather, Yemi is not a Catholic, neither is Tinubu a Christian. It's only in the Catholic Church that we have godfathers in the church, those who stand for us when we are baptized into the body of Christ. I am a Catholic, so I'm speaking from experience. So, but when people bother themselves too much with inanities and leave the substance, that's what we face. It's not, it has, I am not a member of the APC as of today. I have no card. I'm not a card carrying member of any political party. I've said it before and I'm saying it again.
Have you got a voter's card?
Of course, I have a voter's card. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a voter.
Are members of your group, are members of your support group, pro-Osinbajo group, do they have voter's card?
They do, and they cut across political divides. I have people here in Lagos who are pro-PDP that tells me that if we're able to project Yemi Osinbajo in the APC, they will abandon their party and come and vote for Yemi. That is the kind of Nigerian we want now. A cosmopolitan Nigerian.
What is the spread of your group?
Nigerian.
What is the spread of your group? As we round up this show, what is the spread of your group? We saw some of those guys in Kano today, the women, your group members who visited. What is the spread of your group?
As of today, we are in the 36 states of the Federation, and very soon we are going to start mobilization, and we're going to start outreach. We are going to start consultations, more and more. We are going to start a recruitment process, preaching the gospel of Osinbajo. We are going to start with the Osinbajo, what I call the Osinbajo evangelism, and we are going to start state by state. We have started in Kano today. Soon after we are coming to Lagos. From Lagos, we are going to Benin. From Benin, we are going to Abuja. From Abuja, we are going to Sokoto to Maiduguri. Then we are coming to the east. We are coming to Ebonyi. We are coming to Aba. We are coming to Port Harcourt. And when you talk about strength, as of today, there is no state in the Federation where we don't have a minimum of 10 persons who are doing the Osinbajo evangelism. If you do 10 times 336 states, that's 360 members. Add FCT to it, that's 370 members active right now. Just go to the group, the Facebook group, and check, and then you will see for yourself.
Oh, thank you. Most times, I come again to these influential Nigerians who are not comfortable holding their umbrellas because I'm particularly interested in that umbrella thing. And they are there. We saw the other day when somebody knelt down before a governor, before a minister, and they idolize them. It makes them, I mean, sometimes, but this is not the case with Professor Yemi Osinbajo. We quite appreciate him for that. Through his initiative, actions, and the public display, the Vice President has clearly demonstrated empathy for the poor. If you want, one can talk about the business-friendly policies like the trader money you spoke about, the Empower, the SME, Survivor Fund, and the likes of which have touched the lives of millions of people, farmers and people who do small businesses here and there. I touch them positively. We need men like him in power, no doubt. Osinbajo means compassion for the people, the poor, the vulnerable, and others in the society. We need leaders who show genuine care. I want to appreciate your group for what you guys did today when we got wind of
Thank you, sir.
when we got wind of your visit to Kano, to this very family. Not everybody will do that. I thought I would see politicians visiting with entourage money and support, I mean, go there and go there. I mean, but I want to appreciate you guys
Just to make a statement on that, you see, politicians don't go where they are not going to get votes. There are no votes in the Hanifa family house. That's why they don't go there. So they do. It's called dramatized, political dramatization. So all these things you see across Twitter is all drama. We are talking about
have the interest of the people at heart, and that's what we're showing, and that's what Professor Yemi stands for.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, yeah, no doubt we need leaders who show genuine care, not photo ops. We need leaders who genuinely. But of course, Bola Tinubu has also visited terrible areas where things happen. I think visited Zamfara the other day and donated money and sympathized with the state government and the people of Zamfara. I think somewhere in Kano too, if not Sokoto or so, or Katsina, thereabouts. We need leaders all around to support the poor and the those who are not able, the vulnerable. We want to appreciate you for what you are doing. We want to appreciate you. We want to say whatever you can do to make society better, especially for us to get it right in 2023, we need to do it. We need to partner together in doing all of this. As you go around, now you have preached the message of empathy. What other messages do you plan to take out to other states of the Federation?
Solidarity and clear-headedness.
Say solidarity, let us all join together. There is no force on earth that can stop an idea whose time has come. If we all agree as a nation that we want to have the best of the best in leadership, there is no structure that can stop us. There is no political leader that can stop. They will all run and they cannot stop us.
Who is funding you? Who are your founder? Who are your founders?
And I mean, that is the most interesting part of it today. As at this material time, and those who are close to me and those who are members of our organization can confirm it, that we are just funding ourselves. We are doing it by the grace of God. So if we had one special politician that was funding us, maybe we would have gone to the Hanifa's family house today with a Hilux and bags of rice and 50 million, like some of them are donating around the whole place. But we show concern. The most important is not the money we have, with what we show, the concern, the passion about what we do. So even the vice president is not funding us yet. We are not asking for his money. We are just telling him that as of today, you cannot decide otherwise when Nigeria has decided for.
Wow, thank you so very much, comrade.
Thank you, sir.
Zachary Jr., we want to appreciate you for finding time to always, whenever we call you, you are always available. Thank you so very much.
Yes,
for those who are watching us, feel free join us any other time. We sincerely appreciate your comradeship, for finding time to join. I mean, it's not easy for people to own their data, buy data. Now, the country is not quite easy now in terms of the economy. The economy is quite harsh, and we know what it means for people to buy data. But most importantly, even in developed countries, you need information. For you to get access to information these days, you need data to go online to source for information, and because without information you are deformed. Before you go quickly, what are you doing to make sure we cultivate? I like what you are doing, educating the people on why we need a better country, a better Nigeria, because we have no other place to go to. What are you doing in terms of mobilizing people for voters' card? Do you know our people don't have voters' card?
It's especially
for those in the Sorosoke. generation. We
Well, isn't that your generation? Are you not part of that generation?
Yes, yeah, I'm the older version of the Sorosuke generation. Those who were born, and they are talking about the millennials, those who were born from the year 2000 till now.
Yeah.
Most of them who are 4 years into adulthood, because if you were born in the year 2000, you're already 4 years into adulthood, don't have voters card, and they quarrel every day, they cry every day on social media. They are not part of political debate. They don't have a candidate. They are not interested in supporting your candidate. There's nothing you have to tell them. They are not interested in sound reasoning, in sound argument. I had a particular friend here in Lagos, who I told, I'm supporting Professor Yemi, and they say, oh, you are supporting another one of them. I say, okay, so give me a better option. No, has no idea. So you see, people, it's wishful thinking, hoping to change the country when you don't have the instrument to change the country. You must have a voter's card. And we are talking to people, like I told you, we are going to be doing the Osinbajo evangelization. We started, we are going to be telling people they need to go and get involved right now in your continuous voter registration. Get your voter's card ready. Votes count. Don't make a fool of yourself by saying votes don't count. Votes have been counting. In fact, if we want to, the last time vote did not count, well, it should be around 2007, the Obasanjo era. As from 2011, 2012, 2015, votes have been counting. Those who win the election win. In the last election in Edo State, the candidate that some of us supported lost the election, and we didn't go to court to challenge it. We didn't challenge the election. It means that we all agree that, okay, in this case, I mean, the spirit of sportsmanship is there. So don't fold your hands and say votes don't count. They already know what they want. That's the lamest excuse of political docility that I've ever heard, that they are choosing who they want. You have the right to choose. Those of us who are here, the democratic reformers, we know that we are swimming against the tide. We know we don't have the structure to deliver the BP in the APC, but we are pushing all the same, and we are going to push through. That's the determination that I want to see in the youth, not crying on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and then doing all those other things that will not help your family, that will not help your generation.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much once more. At this point, we are going to draw the curtain and tell you that until we come your way again, we want to appreciate you for everything. Stay safe. Don't be a tool in the hands of politicians. We have always told you it is electioneering period. Make sure you campaign. Don't fight. You don't need to fight anybody. Get your voter's card. Get enlightened. Get people around you enlightened, and take care of yourself. God bless you. See you. Bye.